Have you ever stopped to wonder how many things you've done in your life, not because you truly wanted to, but because you needed to be accepted? How many times have you put on a mask, silenced your own truth, ignored your inner voice, just to avoid being rejected? There's a painful truth that few are brave enough to face. They will never truly love you. And no, it's not because people are bad, selfish, or cruel. It's because everyone is too busy desperately trying to be loved themselves. We live trapped in an invisible cycle where everyone seeks validation, but very few are willing to give authentic, unconditional love, especially when that love means accepting you as you truly are. This video is an invitation to tear down the fantasy and finally see the reality behind the constant need for approval. Today, we are going to uncover together the illusion of social approval. 1. The invisible trap of seeking approval. From the moment we are born, we are conditioned to believe that, in order to be loved, we must meet the expectation of others. Be the perfect child, the ideal partner, the flawless professional. Society creates invisible rules, and if you don't fit in, you are silently rejected. Out of fear, you adapt. You shrink your voice, filter your opinions, control your gestures, your dreams, your truth, all for one goal: to be accepted. But that acceptance comes at a price, and it's far more expensive than you think. You trade your authenticity for approval. You sacrifice your freedom for belonging. And in the end, no matter how hard you try, it's never enough. Because the acceptance that comes from outside can never fill the emptiness that grows inside. 2. The illusion of being seen. They don't love you, they love the mask. When you live to please, something cruel happens without you even realizing it. People are not connecting with the real you. They are connecting with the version you crafted to be accepted. And that version is not you. If all you ever show the world is a mask, then anyone who loves you only loves the mask, not the person behind it. That's why, even surrounded by people, you still feel alone. That's why, even when you're praised, recognized, or validated, there's a strange emptiness inside, like none of it is real. It's the loneliness of not being truly seen, the loneliness that exists even in the middle of a crowd. 3. What the great thinkers have always known. This is not a coincidence. Philosophers, psychologists, and great minds have reflected on this for centuries. Schopenhauer warned that most human relationships are based on convenience, not genuine empathy. Carl Jung explained that when you betray yourself to seek approval, you silently begin a psychological self-destruction. Nietzsche shouted to the world, "Become who you are," a rebellion against the mediocrity of living by society's standards. Because when you live to be accepted, you're not living, you're performing, you're surviving, you're adapting. But deep down, your true self is screaming for freedom. 4. Why it will never be enough. There's a brutal truth about seeking validation. It never ends. You earn someone's approval today. Tomorrow, it's no longer enough. What once brought applause becomes an expectation. What was once admirable becomes your new obligation. And the moment you fail, and trust me, you will, because you are human, those same people who once cheered you on will be the first to point fingers. You become a prisoner of opinions, of expectations, of social pressure. And the harshest truth of all is that no one will save you from this. Only you can. 5. True freedom begins here. So here's the question that changes everything. If you stopped trying to please everyone today, who would you be? It's an uncomfortable question, but it's also the key to something rare, a freedom that very few people ever experience. Because the day you realize that no one owes you love, no one owes you approval, and you don't owe anyone a version of yourself that isn't real, that's the day you stop trading pieces of your soul for scraps of validation. You start choosing what you like, what you don't like, who stays, who goes, and most importantly, who you truly want to become. Life doesn't get easier, but it gets lighter. It gets real. It becomes yours. Conclusion: the courage to be truly you. The illusion of social approval is a prison without bars. But the keys have always been in your hands. They will never truly love you, at least, not until you have the courage to love yourself first. Because only when you take off the mask, some people will leave, others will criticize, but the ones who stay will stay because of who you truly are. And believe me, that is worth more than any crowd applauding a version of you that never existed. In the end, life demands just one thing from you: courage. Courage to be imperfect. Courage to be honest with yourself. Courage to become exactly who you are. Breathe deeply. Your freedom starts the moment you close your eyes and decide to never again be a prisoner of the illusion.